Similarly, there's another viral disease that we want to cover, that is hepatitis. Hepatitis impacts your liver. There are 5 different types of hepatitis, hepatitis A, B, C, D and E. Of this, the first and D, hepatitis A and hepatitis D, you'll see, sorry, hepatitis A and hepatitis E, you'll see are spread by consuming food and water contaminated with feces. So it is the fecal material which contributes towards spread of this disease. Same is the case with hepatitis E. In areas with poor sanitation and injecting fecal material that contaminates the water supply, these are the 2 diseases which are spread like that. But then there are other disease, like other hepatitis B, C, D. They mostly spread by blood, vaginal secretion or semen. Similarly, hepatitis C, they spread in a similar manner. Blood fluids, typically through injection drug used in sexual contact. Similarly, there is hepatitis D, which is called delta hepatitis, and it is spread by direct contact with infected bloods. So primary way of spreading of BCD is that blood wala mechanism or body fluid wala mechanism. In fact, there was a question in 2018 preliminary examination or 2019 preliminary examination which was talking about, which gave a statement that hepatitis spreads in a similar way as HIV. So you would see that BCD does spread in a similar way as HIV. Now, of all these hepatitis B and hepatitis C contributes to 96% of the total cases. Of this, for hepatitis B there is vaccine available, but for hepatitis C vaccine is not available. Even this fact was asked in the preliminary examination of 2019. So you should be aware of this. Now, in India, hepatitis is a major concern because of the polluted water or poor quality of water and poor quality of sanitation that we have, and therefore Government of India has a national viral hepatitis control program which was launched in 2018 with the aim of eliminating the deadly condition by 2030. We have to eliminate hepatitis by 2030. This is the goal of National Viral Hepatitis Program, and since most of the hepatitis cases are of hepatitis B and hepatitis C, here government will be providing free drugs and diagnosis for hepatitis B and hepatitis C under this initiative. Now, what are the key strategies? Common sense, awareness generation would be a strategy, providing treatment would be a strategy, providing clean drinking water would be a strategy. These are some things which would be the focus of this particular program, National Viral Hepatitis Control Program. Okay, now on 28th July, the WHO celebrates or observes World Hepatitis Day. What do we do on this day? We try to spread awareness related to hepatitis. Now, there's a concern. What is the concern? Concern is this, that, no, sorry, not a concern. There's a fact that you should know. There are 8 health related campaigns which WHO runs, and one of them is hepatitis. World Hepatitis Day on 28th July. There are other 7 campaigns. World Health Day is on 7th of April, World Blood Donor Day is on 14th of June, World Immunization Week is last week of April, World Tuberculosis Day is on 24th March, No Tobacco Day is on 31st May, World Malaria Day is on 25th April, and World AIDS Day is on 1st of December. These are some days observed by WHO which are associated with public health. On these days, awareness related initiatives are launched for these particular subjects. Lassa fever. Lassa fever is something very small. You would not hear a lot about it, but last year it was in news when Nigerian Academy of Science had said that the outbreak which was going on in Nigeria called for this disease being declared a national health emergency. So what is this Lassa fever? Because we are studying about viral diseases, it is a viral hemorrhagic fever caused by Lassa virus. Lassa fever caused by Lassa virus, which is a viral disease. Now, when we look at how it gets transmitted to humans, so it is mostly the urine or fecal material of rodents. Human to human transaction, again by similar mechanism, blood, urine or fecal material. If it gets added in the water, if it gets added in the food, it becomes a concern. Now, this is another disease which is fatal in nature, and the death may occur within 14 days of the onset of this particular issue. Yeah, this is it. I think this is what you should know about it. Vaccine is not available, but there's an antiviral drug, ribavirin, which have been found to be effective against this Lassa fever. तो अफ्रीका में spread हो रहा था, but Lassa is a viral fever which spreads through fecal and urine of some rodents, and from human to human transmission also takes place by this mechanism. These are some things that you should definitely know. Now, zoonotic diseases in general. Before we go on to non-viral diseases, let us understand the term zoonotic disease. Why are we studying this? Because on zoonotic diseases, a recent report was published by United Nations Environment Program and ILRI. What is the report? Preventing the next pandemic, zoonotic diseases, and how to break the chain of transmission. So we'll talk about this particular report, but first let us understand what is meant by zoonotic disease. Zoology, animals. The disease which you get, which is transmitted to you through animals, is zoonotic disease. Birds, animals, those diseases are zoonotic diseases. For example, Ebola. Ebola is a viral disease, but it got transmitted to you through fruit bat. COVID-19, there's a like most of the people believe that it was transmitted to humans from bats or from pangolin, and so on. So it is perhaps also a zoonotic disease. Nipah, fruit bat, zoonotic disease. So diseases which you get from animals are zoonotic diseases. Now you have understood zoonotic diseases. Now look at this report by United Nations Environment Program, which was released in July. It was released on World Zoonosis Day on 6th of July. It says that 60% of all infectious diseases, all the infectious diseases that you know of, and 75% of all emerging infectious diseases are zoonotic, that is, have their origin in animals. Now, WHO says that there are 300 zoonotic diseases which have been observed over the past 70 years, and it also, WHO in its older data also is giving the same figure, that is 60% of all human diseases and 75% of all emerging infectious diseases are zoonotic in nature. Ebola, Zika, Nipah, Casanur forest disease, these are all zoonotic in nature. Now, why zoonotic diseases are increasing? 75% of all the emerging diseases are zoonotic in nature because those animals where they were living, we are interfering there. We are interacting with them more than what we should have. We are destroying their habitats, so they are coming to human habitation. We are destroying forests, so human-animal conflict is increasing, human-animal interaction is increasing. We are doing deforestation, same issue. Climate change is increasing the chances of these diseases being spread. These are some of the factors. If you look here, dramatic increase in population and mobility, environmental changes, deforestation, etc., increase human contact with pathogens, increased demand for animal protein, like demand for meat, demand for pork, all these things are going up, which is becoming another factor. Rise in intense and unsustainable farming, increased use of exploitation of wildlife, unsustainable utilization of natural resources. Indian villages are located within or around forests, global warming, poor preparation in terms of infra and human resource, lack of awareness. These are some of the factors which are leading to rise in zoonotic diseases. Now, what is the recommendation of UNEP? The report in July 2020 report. So you should please note that preventing the next pandemic, zoonotic diseases, and how to break the chain of transmission is a report by UNEP, and it has given some recommendations. Now, you do not have to cram these recommendations, just know, by your common sense, you would know that stay away from forests, protect forests. These would be some things which all these aspects would be recommending you. Now we'll come to non-viral diseases. And in the non-viral diseases, the first thing that we want to start with is malaria. Malaria. We Indians are very much aware of this disease. We know that this is caused by a mosquito. But mosquito is the vector. What really causes the disease is a protozoan, Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax, it's a parasite, it's a protozoa that is transferred by the mosquito to you. The mosquito is the vector. That mosquito transfers this plasmodium. Now, this plasmodium goes into your liver and multiplies there, and then it infects your red blood cell, causing the problems that you face. The mosquito adds this plasmodium into your blood in the form of sporozoite when the plasmodium is in spore-like stage, and then in your body, in your liver, this spore-like parasite multiplies, matures. Once you get malaria, the features, the symptoms that you get are fever, headache, vomiting, and usually appear between 10 to 15 days after the mosquito bite. These features usually appear after that. Now, if not treated, malaria can or even be fatal in some cases. Now, for malaria, there are treatments available. There is a artemisinin based combination therapy. So, there is medicine available for malaria. That is one thing. Second thing that you can do to deal with malaria is reduce mosquitoes around you. The water bodies that exist around your area should be clean. Stagnant water should not be there. The air cooler, if you are using in Delhi, a lot of people use coolers, air coolers. The water should not be stored there for longer period. You should use a mosquito net, you should use a mosquito repellent, and so on. These are different things that you can do. Now, when it comes to malaria, India has the 4% of the global malaria cases. India ranks 5th in terms of total number of cases. On first we have Nigeria, then Democratic Republic of Congo, Mozambique, Uganda, and then comes India. These 5 countries together are contributing to almost 50% of the world cases. There are certain initiatives in India to deal with malaria. One of them is National Framework for Malaria Elimination 2016 to 2030, where by 2030 we want to make India malaria free. There are international initiatives also. Global Technical Strategy for Malaria 2016 to 2030. It's a strategy by WHO where in 15-year period they want to dramatically reduce the global malaria burden. See, malaria is the largest parasitic killer in the world. Protozoa is Plasmodium is the parasite. Plasmodium vivax is a parasite that goes and eats in your body, that gets energy from your body. It's a parasite which survives on your body. Now, if we look at parasite killers in the world, malaria is the largest parasite killer. So, WHO here in 15-year period wants to dramatically lower the global malaria burden. And towards this, it has a E2020 initiative also. In 2016, WHO identified that there are 21 countries which have the potential to eliminate malaria by 2020 only, and for them E2020 initiative was launched, where in those 21 countries the elimination should take place by 2020. This has not been achieved. In some countries this elimination have been achieved, but not in all the 21 countries.